Well, hello, and welcome to the beginning of the last days. You know who says that? Hello. It's that new bachelor on the Bachelor show. Yeah, Zach. Well, hello. He always says he's a nice guy. Sometimes just unwind a little. I have to admit. Okay, I'm not perfect. I do watch The Bachelor once in a while. I don't even really want to admit it, but because I already said the hello thing, I guess it's out there. But looks like a nice guy. Seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. But did you see the promo for next week? He's like got all these tears and he's screwed up in some way, right? So it's all going to come tumbling down. Anyways, I watched The Bachelor, of course, while preparing for the next day for the show or studying the word. So my dad's Bible, I love to read from it ever since he's left this earth and he's in heaven. I like knowing what he thought was important in his Bible, which is underlined from one end to the other. So today I opened it up, and here we are, and it says in Hebrews 10, verses 30, it says, "And again, the Lord shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God." And that's what keeps me on the straight and narrow, because I don't want to be on God's bad side. So I try to do the right thing. And, he lets me get away with watching The Bachelor. Okay, so Christine Anderson flew into town, and she flew into this country doing this amazing series of talks. What would Christine Anderson do? Well, if you've been watching the news today, there's a little bit of controversy. And all I just want to say from the beginning is we knew that the Liberal Party and the Conservatives are pretty much the same party. Just want you to keep that thought in mind as we listen to Christine Anderson and Max Bernier have a conversation. Fascinating.
The Canadian people, they are so fantastic. They're so phenomenal. And I really have to say, once I saw the Freedom Convoy taking off and doing all of that, I was like, yes, thank God, finally someone is doing something. And that's what the world needed. That's what millions of people around the world needed. And I will be eternally grateful to the Freedom Truckers because you guys did it all. I just resonated what you guys did.
We love her. We love her. Christine Anderson was standing up for us when guess who wasn't? Nobody in Parliament. No, nobody was standing up for us. Nope. It was Christine Anderson across the world in Germany calling out that prime minister in Canada and saying, "What are you doing?" And it was silence from the Conservative Party. Silence on our behalf. Not standing up for us. No, no, no. Saying a few little words here and there. Oh, they have a right to protest, blah, blah, blah. Not coming out to be with the people. Not at all. Not really standing against the prime minister. It's just a shocking thing. So the Toronto Sun today has an article, and it's written by, of all people, oh my word, a horrible name, Warren Kinsella. You remember this guy? He slandered Maxime Bernier. He was heard on a tape basically saying, make his life, miserable. Like he was just all about taking out Maxime Bernier. I don't remember the exact words, but I've got them saved. And this man is a complete blazing nightmare, right? Hates all things freedom. Well, who's turned out to be the best freedom fighter, politician, head of a party in this country? Maxime Bernier. And of course, I always pay my deference as well to the Christian Heritage Party, to my dear friend who lets me know when I forget to mention him. Okay, so here, what do we have? We've got 3 Conservative members of Parliament who were visible in a picture. Do we have that picture? Is that on the site there? It's not. If you scroll down, let me see. Because I know it's on the CTV one. Do you have the CTV one? Yeah, number 4. Let's go to that. Oh, yeah, there it is. You can't really make that bigger. There it is. Yeah. So Christine Anderson is seen with 3 members of the Conservative Party of Canada, 3 members who've been voted in who went, wow, here's this lady. Here's a woman who was going against the party that they are also against. She was going against the Prime Minister. But today, in a shocking twist, Pierre Poilievre has forced these 3 members of Parliament to basically stand down, apologize, and they're calling Christine Anderson a far-right Nazi sympathizer, whatever, and that she's not. I heard her speak. Totally against the Nazis. So why would they get this kind of nonsense going? So we have another CTV one, right? Oh, Brian Lilly's tweet. Let's do that one, Pierre. This is what Pierre Poilievre has said regarding Christine Anderson. Take a look. Oh, okay. Well, I can't see it. Okay, now I can. Christine Anderson's views are vile and have no place in our politics. The MPs were not aware of this visiting member of the European Parliament's opinions, and they regret meeting with her. Frankly, it would be better if Anderson never visited Canada in the first place. She and her racist, hateful views are not welcome here. So this is a tweet, to be very clear, from the Conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre. This is what Pierre has said. This is not what Justin Trudeau is saying. No. Justin Trudeau and Pierre Poilievre, they're on the same team about this. Wow. Yet another sign. We've been pointing that out for years, right? So I think it's all coming down to her racist views. So when I did a live conference with Christine Anderson, one of the things she said is the huge issue they have with immigration and the raping of their women and young girls in Germany. If that's a problem, why can't she talk about it? And how is that racist? How is that racist to talk about the fact that there is a huge number of people that are being attacked and assaulted? And I'm sure those women are of all colors. But this is well known. I know we've covered it before in this show, that nobody wants to talk about it in mainstream media, but it's a problem. There's foreigners coming into Germany and they're raping the women and the young girls. That is what Christine, she said it's happening every single day. Does she not have a right to say that? Does that make her racist? I don't think so. I don't think so. The protection of women, I thought that was something that we were all kind of into. You know, I thought that was something that we would all defend. So I just want to read a little bit from, can I now read from this CTV article, JT? Because JT's kind of taken over in what order I should be doing things. So I do have a share on it if you want me to. Pierre Poilievre denounces the Conservative MP's meeting with far-right German politician. And guess what the sadness of this is? The sadness of this is that the leader of the Conservative Party, he says, yes, sir, Mr. Prime Minister. Yes, sir, we denounce, oh, yes, this woke racism that is going on. Yes, we denounce that. You don't stand up for somebody who is defending the borders of their country. Aren't you asking for the borders a little bit to be shut? I mean, a little bit late. You've all let so many people into this country illegally. Same as the United States of America. Crimes going up everywhere. So Pierre Poilievre denounces this. Are we on yours or mine? Because I'm going to go down a bit. I'm going to read it. So it does say, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is denouncing a far-right German politician after 3 of his MPs met with her during her Canadian tour in support of the Freedom Convoy movement. Christine Anderson, a European Parliament member with the Alternative for, is it Deutschland? glad I said that right, party, concludes her 4-stop tour of Canada with an event in Montreal on Friday. After speaking in Calgary, Toronto, and Whitby, Ontario, 3 Ontario Conservative MPs, Colin Carey, Dean Allison, and former leadership contender Laura-Lynn Lewis, stand up people, if you ask me, for meeting with someone like this, a dignitary from a foreign land. What's wrong with that? Does it mean that you absolutely agree with everything that they feel and think? Or because they stood against your wicked and tyrannical prime minister, because this woman has stood against him, that you would meet with her and exchange niceties? That's a problem. That should be a problem to the prime minister, and we're going to show you that he does think it's a problem. But it shouldn't be a problem to the opposition. The opposition? Wasn't it Stephen Harper that started talking about the problem that we had with Islamic radicals and with immigration? It's always about the radicals. It's not about people, my good friend Salim Mansour, right? Who was kicked out of the Conservative Party of Canada because he just couldn't uphold some of the Islamic ideology that he doesn't believe in. So Salim Mansour gets kicked out of the Conservative Party. I want you all to understand something. I've been on a kick for about 3 years, and I know that it's an honest belief in my heart. I come to you with integrity, with my true spirit, that the real leader of this country should be Maxime Bernier. He's been right on every one of these issues. And now we have Pierre Poilievre forcing someone like Laura-Lynn Lewis, to have to apologize. I mean, it's sad. She's in a real bind. I know probably what she's going through. I mean, she's been told to stand down or else, hasn't she? Right? Haven't the 3 of these guys, Colin Carey, Dean Allison, they've been told to stand down, or you know what, I'm not going to be signing your certificate to be able to run in the next election. That's what's happened. And even more shocking, that Pierre Poilievre wouldn't just back down and actually stand up to the prime minister. But oh no, why? Why is Pierre Poilievre suddenly liberal light and in broad view of everybody? Why? Why can he not stand up to this? As a woman comes from another country and says that women, females, teens and up, are being assaulted, and it's happening every single day, largely to do with having opened the borders to people that have come in from another land, and that's racist? Wow, Pierre, you care about women? Do you even know what a woman is? Let's face that. If you ask Pierre Poilievre, what is a woman? Matt Walsh might ask him. Pierre can't answer that. Ask him. He can't answer that. Do you know who can answer that question very clearly? Will be Maxime Bernier. So Pierre Poilievre has now told them to stand down. I've read this entire article. I don't think I'll go through it all. Pierre's basically saying, I think this is his, but we're deeply concerned by CPC, or who says this? The advocacy group said in a Twitter post. Okay, some advocacy group. We're deeply concerned by CPC MPs Laura-Lynn Lewis, Dean Allison, Colin Carey, meeting with Anderson, Christine, a member of the far-right German AfD party known as Islamophobic and anti-immigrant. Oh, where have we heard that before? You know who's called Islamophobic? Anyone who says we don't appreciate that some ideologies that do not respect women, that sometimes hold views contrary to Canadian belief systems, Sharia law and whatnot, that we don't support that in Canada. We want Canada protected as a free nation. Now, that's not against all Muslims, because I have Ismaili friends that want nothing to do with the radicals. I have Salim Mansour who wants nothing to do with that. And One Godless Woman, I'm sure many of you have heard of her and her stand, her difficulty in being a woman, how she was treated and has left that religion and being in a foreign land to come here for freedom. Those people understand all of that. Let's face it, there's radicals in every religion. There's radicals in every belief system. What we do want to do is have a cohesivity where we can all get along and we can live. Is that not a word? Okay, but cohesion? All right, he's shaking his head. Okay, we want a cohesion. We all get along. We live in beautiful Canada. We love our freedom. And we don't support women being raped by immigrants or anybody. But here's what's happened. The statistics are all there. Christine Anderson did speak openly about that. Does that make her someone that needs to be removed? And she is definitely not a Nazi or a Nazi sympathizer. She talks about the dark history of Germany. So I'm reading through all of this. Poilievre said his MPs were unaware of her. Get this. This is Poilievre's words. Vile views, and said they regret meeting with her. Really? No, Mr. Poilievre. You've come into a conflict with some of your supporters. Some of the money that comes into the Conservative Party of Canada, and you have sided with the Prime Minister, the tyrannical, disgusting Prime Minister of our country. That's what you've done. You've done it on this very day and gone against 3 of your most, let me say it, upstanding MPs who support freedom, who spoke out for us, unlike you, sir. And now you've forced them to apologize, because of her vile views. Frankly, it would be better, Mr. Poilievre says this, to all of you thousands of people across the country that came out to support this great woman who spoke against our Prime Minister so courageously, because she gets it. This is what Pierre Poilievre said. The guy you think you have to put into power. You think you have to vote for him in the next election to get rid of Trudeau. Well, he thinks that her views are vile. I have yet to find out what that is, what those views that are vile might be. Frankly, says Poilievre, it would be better if Anderson never visited Canada in the first place. She and her racist, hateful views are not welcome here, he said in a written statement. So do we have that video of Trudeau? Well, let's look at Poilievre's right-hand guy in this one. He stands alongside and agrees with the Prime Minister. Shame.
Hi, Megan McLeister, CBC News. Prime Minister, what do you make of the 3 Conservative MPs, including a member of Shadow Cabinet, who met with a member of the far-right German AfD party?
I think the Conservative Party of Canada owes some explanations to Canadians. We've seen consistently a pattern from Conservative politicians, whether it's attaching a misogynistic YouTube tag to reach out to anti-women groups online through YouTube videos. The answer is, we didn't know about it. There's nothing to see here. A Conservative leader meets with a known far-right extremist. We didn't know who it was. Consistently, we see Conservative parliamentarians and people who should know better associating themselves with folks responsible for a particularly vile level of rhetoric and hatred. And their answer is all the same. We didn't know. At one point, Canadians need to stop being treated like fools, and the Conservatives need to own up and either really dissociate themselves from hateful, vile, intolerant rhetoric, or tell the truth and explain that they actually have room for those rhetorics and that intolerance within their party.
Wow. So what is CTV, who has aired the Prime Minister's little clip here, great acting. Oh, I mean, let me put on my indignant face. The Conservatives. All right? This is the guy who wore blackface so many times he doesn't know how many times it was. Okay? This is the guy with scandals up his yin-yang that we can't get rid of. And who's bowing to him? Pierre Poilievre. They're the same party. At the core of it, the same party, the same woke stuff. It's the same, anti-racist. Everything's racist. If you have an opinion on a different people and on what they're doing, it's all racist. Oh, but if you want to, put down Christianity, apparently that's just perfectly fine these days, right? They're all going to be about the LGBTQ agenda. Pierre and Trudeau, same views. Same views. You won't catch Pierre saying one thing against it. So what has this CTV article, said that she has said? So Alternative für Deutschland has opposed immigration and decries what some of its members call the Islamization of Europe. Speaking in the European Parliament last year, Anderson said Islam was the cause of the denial of women's human rights in Afghanistan. It is. It is. I just did an interview on my Facebook a month and a half ago with a woman that was there, and she was, people are being beheaded and killed because the young women do not want to wear the head covering. For goodness sakes, they're killing people over that. This is not good. What kind of religion is so? You're killing people. Not respectful of the equal rights of women. Throwing LGBTQ off the roof. Killing LGBTQ people. That is not okay. So apparently she speaks out about that. But guess what? Some of this factions she feels is coming to her country. So this is what Christine Anderson said. For God's sake, take a look around, she said, claiming women are repressed in all Muslim countries. She's right. This is what CTV has a problem with her saying. I'm sorry, CTV, do you not support women having freedom? Not wearing a headdress if they don't want to wear a headdress? Really, CTV? That's the stand? Oh, what if it's a guy who says he's a woman and doesn't want to wear the headdress? Then is it okay with you? Yeah. Oh, now we've wow. Oh, let's really open this up. Well, no, because the transgender people would already be thrown off the roof in those countries. So call the devil by its name, she says, and stop using apologetic terms to downplay the true nature of the most despicable and horrific ideology women suffer from worldwide. Anderson made headlines in Canada last year when Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke to the European Parliament. Mr. Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy, she said in a response to the Parliament. Please spare us your presence. Amen. Good for you, Christine. Thank you. Because while you were standing up for us, we had the mamby-pamby Conservative Party of Canada not standing for us. And you let a disaster happen to those who wanted to stand for freedom in a peaceful way, singing "O Canada" as basically because of your silence and inability to cooperate, you allowed Canadian citizens to be shot with rubber bullets and beanie bags in the face. You trampled over and you're all together. You and Mr. Trudeau, you are all the same. Shame. So, Anderson has been welcomed warmly in Canada by many associated with the Freedom Convoy protests that gridlocked Ottawa and border crossings last year. We're at a place where if we don't force, and then here's a picture with Christine Anderson, Tamara Leach, and her lawyers. Keith Wilson, Eva Chipiuk. And at one event, Anderson arrived in a convoy of semi-tractor trailer trucks wearing a Freedom Fighters Canada sweatshirt. I'm proud. I'm proud of the Freedom Fighters. I know what they fought for. No one should be forced to have to get a shot that they don't want to get. My body, my choice. Absolutely disgusting. Do we have anything else on that? All right, we're going to go to our guests now. Okay. All right. And I'm not done with this topic. And I am so proud of those who stand up for freedom in this country and call out what you need to call out. And for all of us who embrace nonviolence towards women, whether you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Sikh, everyone can get along. If we're not going to, support the degradation of women, if we're going to keep our country civil, no kind of like trying to take over, then we're good. But Christine Anderson is from Germany, and she has a right to talk about what's happening there. And I'm pretty sure that we can get more information from her directly, and I hope that we'll be able to get her on the show. Unbelievable. Christine Anderson is a hero on our globe. This is appalling. And even worse, we expected this from Trudeau, who was already dissed by her. And his little pious face today. But Pierre Poilievre, you remember this moment, Canada. This is a telling moment where some of the curtains come away and you see whose side he's really on. Shame. All right. I would like to invite to the show Patrick Phillips, and we've had him on before. He is someone who is a doctor in our country and has been fighting for freedom. Dr. Phillips, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Laura-Lynn.
You
Always a
bet.
pleasure.
Thanks for waiting in the background. I thank you for putting up with some of that as you waited. One of the things that we're all facing is that we have had an epic attack on our freedom. And you have been one of the top people to be affected by this. You were wanting to stand up just for your bodily autonomy. And I think what we're going to do is you're just going to tell your story today and talk about a few things that is in our news. I'm going to let YouTube and Facebook go. We head over right now to rumble.com, and we're just going to talk about freedom in Canada. We're going to talk about, what we've all been through, and with somebody who's paid a high price. And as we're all watching the unfolding of the truth in all these matters, it's going to be even more, I think, poignant and relevant in the time to come here that some people were on the right side of history. So we'll say goodbye to YouTube. Please head over to rumble.com, the description of where you can go. You can click a link. It's all in the chat line right there.